Hello, Steve Arts A9. Well, are we going to get the truth about what happened on the set of Charm now that Shannen Doherty's passed away? Because I really felt that, there were rumours for years about Shannon's firing and why she left the show, and also the same about 90210, and it was all very mysterious. And back in the day, we didn't have the sort of social media, environment that we do now. Everything was online and very controlled by the studio. So they kind of managed that, and it was interesting to sort of know something was happening but not really know, and then sort of find out over time as it sort of came out. But it really wasn't until Shannen was really sick that she really started to talk about this, and there really was a sense of everyone siding with her because she had cancer and because she was going to die. And I'm kind of wondering how many people, now that she's gone and they're afraid not to speak out about someone who's dying of cancer, if we're going to get a more balanced version, because everyone basically jumped on the Shannen bandwagon and rolled right over Alyssa Milano, who I don't think did anything wrong. She was just very smart. She was very clinical. She basically had a toxic, hostile set that she wasn't happy with. She documented it and she went to the management and said, "Fix it or I'm gone." And the way they fixed it was firing Shannen. And had Shannen been as wily as Alyssa, she could have done the exact same thing and pulled the same trick, but she didn't. But there were some issues of how it was done and so forth, and a lot of people complain about the show going downhill, that one of the showrunners was removed and pushed out by a man, because she was one of the women who created the show. And then the show wasn't about the girls and their sisterhood and their family. It was just about the girls being romanced and being objectified, and sort of science fiction fantasy tropes and stuff that were more prevalent in the later seasons. I don't remember the last couple of seasons. I know I watched it well into Rose's years. I watched at least 2 years of Rose, maybe 3. I don't really remember the end. I might have watched the last episode, but I watched it for a good 5 or 6 years, pretty religiously, and then I started to drift off from it, and I don't remember the last 2 seasons. I've heard some fairly scathing reviews, and I'm not sure if they're actually accurate, but that's the show. That's a whole other thing. I guess I'll do a season-by-season review when I actually go through and watch it. But I'm just curious now where this story is going to sort of find a balance, because before it was Shannen was a monster and they got rid of her, and then everyone was happy once she was gone, and then it was like, actually no, Alyssa was the monster and Shannen was the victim, and now she can tell the truth and everyone's siding with her because she's sick. And now it's like, now she's gone, what's going to happen? Which side is Holly going to fall on? Because she was flipping and flopping and she sort of seems to go with the flow, and I just felt like people were pressured to side with Shannen because of her illness. And now I'm just wondering who's going to now turn around and go, well, actually, Alyssa didn't do actual, Shannen was she, I can sort of see a bit of that sort of humming and hawing sort of going to come out. And I'm just curious to see, some people have said that this is so long ago and so many people and feelings are involved. Does anyone really remember what happened? Does any of them really know what sort of was happening? Are we ever going to know what, happened on the set and what, I don't know, but I just want to talk about it for a minute because I watched this really long podcast where someone went through a lot of it, and and it was very much, now Shannon's gone, let's look at this side of it. And I'm like, where is this going to fall? Is it going to find a middle ground? Are we going to get to the truth? Are we going to get to see sort of it from everyone's side and get a real representation of what happened? Or is it going to be, Alyssa, outlived Shannen, so now she has the last word? I don't know. But I just found it all curious. I don't want to talk about the actual situations because other people have covered that better in longer videos, and until I'm ready to actually script some of these points out, because you're never going to remember it all, it's so complicated. I'm just talking about the other side of that, and we'll see. I'm